Okay, Mr. President,
Can you hear me okay? Or do I need a microphone?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and call to order the March 15th, 2021 Madison City Council Riverfront Alcohol Beverage License Committee. The first order of business is the election of 2021 officers. We need an acting president and an acting vice president. Are there any volunteers?
I nominate Dan to continue to be president of this committee.
Okay, thank you.
I second that nomination.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. And then we need a vice.
I nominate Austin Sims to be vice president.
Okay, I'll second that. All those in favor? Good. Next order of business, approval of minutes from July of 2020. That's not a typo, that's the last time we actually met. That is correct. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Does anybody have any questions or comments? I'll need a motion to approve.
Okay, I motion to approve the minutes from July 2020.
And a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Next, item for new business would be the application for Crafton Brothers Coffee L.L.C.
Yes, Mr. President, I believe each of you have their application in front of you. So I've asked Crafton Brothers owners, representatives, brothers, to be here today and answer any questions the committee may have in terms of their application. As you know, we do have some guidelines we need to follow for these applications, and now is the time to ask any questions you may have at this point.
Okay. I guess,
There you go.
so I guess in your own words, if you guys could tell us what your current business is and how you're looking to expand that business with the permit.
So right now we have coffee, different types of espresso drinks, cappuccinos, primarily a coffee shop and leaning towards, coffee cafe, sit down type of scenario. We have homemade pastries, cinnamon rolls, and we serve breakfast all day. And we inherited this when we purchased it, that type of menu, and we condensed it into some things that we felt like we would be exceptionally good at, opposed to trying to accommodate, every demographic that walks in and out. We got a lot of that feedback up front, not just from customers, but from baristas as well. We wanted to put our mark on it, and I think after 4.5, 5 months, we're starting to get a feel of what direction we would like to go, and we're seeing the needs in the community of, we don't want to be just another coffee place. We want to do something intentional and hit a demographic that hasn't really been hit yet. We do have breakfast all day. We tried the biscuits and gravy on the weekend, and that's going exceptionally well. So we've tried a few things over the last 4.5 months. Some of them we withdrew, and some of them we maintained. So it's kind of where we're at right now. Just like a lot of the businesses in Jefferson County, COVID hit everybody really hard and continues to stretch people thin. Number one, number two, Hanover College being out. That Hanover College loves to use our Wi-Fi, drink coffee, and come down, and we certainly encourage that. The kids being out of school, that put a damper on some things. And anytime you take over a new business, it can take 6 months, it can take 2 years for you to kind of get your feet wet and established. So with all those things being said, I think that we've established ourselves well enough to where we have a decent understanding and a good, well-oiled machine that we continue to improve on, and a good set of baristas that are hardworking and loyal, and we genuinely appreciate them. That we want to We've talked to them individually and as a group, you know, we'd like to expand. And this license, connected with the river, being our location of Main Street and Broadway, and having Broadway directly connected to the river. Farmers Market, all the festivals that are coming up, a lot of golf cart traffic right there on Broadway. You know, there's the riverfront connectivity. And having the alcohol license would accentuate our existing menu and improve on our menu by allowing Bloody Marys on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, allowing mimosas, allowing Baileys in your coffee, which you go to other progressive cities and larger places, you see a lot of those things. Rum chata, and to stick with our theme of crafted, I know it's a play on me and my brother's last name, but also, you know, we intentionally make stuff from scratch, and we want to have crafted beers in there. Not a bunch of selections, just kind of like our menu, kind of keeping it simple. Have some crafted wines in there. I think there's a space for that, and we're not going to hit everybody in this community or every tourist that comes in. That's the great thing about having so many different places for people to eat and drink is, you know, what's your flavor. So we'd like to establish our flavor with your all's help. So that's kind of where we are and where we're at. I think 35%, 36% of our gross was food over 4.5 months, 5 months. You know, I know the 66,000 threshold. Based off of that, it's gonna exceed it, even if we were just on this trajectory without the alcohol. So with the alcohol, it'll complement that and increase it. We think that our projected sales conservatively would be 25 to 30%. Again, that's based off of pure projection. That's based off of super conservative. Whenever you take a look at other businesses or do a simple Google search, whenever you incorporate alcohol, that number usually exceeds that 25 to 30%.
How are you guys defining, I mean, is coffee in the food item
No.
revenues that you guys provided to?
If it was, we talked to Mr. Worth about that. Because you could make a case for the bean, we chose not to. We did real, our sandwiches to our breakfasts, to our soups, to our salads.
Okay.
You know, that's how we define, you know, our food sales.
Okay. Do you guys know what your average ticket price is, or if I come in there, what's the average that I'm going to spend?
You're going to go 7 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, the additional hours that you have in your application as well, going open from during the week from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. or is this 7 to 8, I believe, and then later on the weekends? Does that mean if you were to acquire this license that you would start serving alcohol as soon as you open as well? Or are you going to have designated times throughout the day, you know, after noon when those sales will begin?
I think in the beginning, we've had that dialogue. It's a good question. I think in the beginning, our customer will tell us what they want. If you know, if I had to give an answer today, I think it would be during the weekdays. There would be a set time when we start. The weekends, it would be when we open, because you have the Bloody Marys and mimosas and breakfast options, and so I think that's how we would start out. I think we would see that trend, whether we should accentuate that from a Friday, Saturday, Sunday to a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think that we'll be proactive in saying, okay, regatta's coming up, we absolutely are gonna, you know, take advantage of that. Riverfest is coming up, so on and so forth. So, you know, like you guys created women's weekend, girls weekend, absolutely, that's a demographic we would hit hard, you know.
And then are there going to be certain sections of the restaurant now where alcohol is allowed, or is it going to be as long as they're inside of the footprint there?
So that's where Jason comes into play, and that's where Officer Strauss comes into play, and that's where, ATF or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that's where they come down with that footprint to say this is, because we want to be family friendly. You know, we're not kicking kids out. But we see all of that connected. So wherever the legal ramifications are and the footprint that has to be in there, that's what we'll create, you know.
But right now, you don't have any idea what that is, what the requirements are.
Jason's got a pretty good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason's our other partner.
I would be interested to learn more about what you can do outside with that as well. I know you said you're planning to, in your application, to expand your outdoor seating. If that means, I would assume most of the time with excise or with insurance, you would have to have that roped off. So that might be some additional things, but just something to think about, especially since we've gone through a COVID world of needing a lot more outdoor seating and dining. I'd be interested to learn more about how you plan to serve customers if they want a mimosa and they're sitting outside or something.
Absolutely. And, you know, we understand there's age restrictions of who can pour and who can, you know, who can handle, who can serve. I do know that, you know, to eliminate any waste, that we will have the shots. You know, if you need a Bailey's, it will be a shot. It won't be somebody actually pouring. I do know that we're gonna also accentuate Broadway, that side of Broadway, being the Riverfront liquor license, you know, to get outdoor seating and umbrellas on the Broadway side. That's gonna be super important for us.
What are your hours right now? 7 days a week?
7 days a week, 7 to 7, except for Sunday, and it's 8 to 5. And we're not gonna be, I mean, on a festival weekend, if we see it's necessary, then yes, but we're gonna primarily be, you know, during the week, close at 8. And if we're seeing sales with alcohol or without alcohol, you know, not warranting us to stay open at 8, then we're gonna drop it to 7. Go back to where we are, but the weekends will be 9. You know, when you get off work, you're gonna stop by, you're gonna go for a Bloody Mary or a mimosa. You're not gonna, you know, hang out there till 9, 10, 11, 12 at night, so.
The other question, I know that before this started, we were talking about how you all started with a lot of menu items and you really honed in on the ones that do well for you. Do you see that if you were to get this liquor license, that could also maybe increase what you offer, right? I think about people coming down on a glass of wine, they want a cheese or something like that, right? But right now you all have really good breakfast and some lunch items. So do you see that expanding, or do you, the possibility of that?
Yeah, I see that happening, and of course, you know, owning a business, you take a look at, you gather data all the time. You see what kind of traffic comes in, see what sales are, you listen to your audience and see what they enjoy, what their recommendations are, what you might be able to get away with. And also with this license, you see what complements alcohol well. So does this sandwich or these types of sandwiches? Do we go another route with food? Do we offer a larger breakfast menu on the weekends with this larger drink menu? That's data we gather all the time and decisions that we will certainly make when it comes to that time.
Regarding, oh, go ahead, Dan.
Did we get a copy of the menu?
No, okay, they will provide me one.
Sure.
And then in the 3D imaging that you sent over, did that include kind of the layout of what you think is the impact of, you know, family seating is gonna, we didn't get the link, but. was
Yeah, that's the existing footprint that we have now.
Okay.
Yeah, shows the square footage and how many tables, how much seating we can have.
What items, I mean, have you modified the menu at all? I mean, you've got some idea what you wanna do, or, I know it's all depends on what the people want, but I mean, you got some ideas of how you wanna expand the menu?
Yeah, and I don't think, we will expand, but we won't expand much bigger than we have now. We'll probably take away and add. We wanna keep it pretty tight. We don't, you know, if you go to a Mexican restaurant, you look at, you know, 12 pages of food, you just get, you know, flustered after a while. What do I need to get? We want to keep ours really, really tight. You know, 1 page of food and pastries, and 1 page of drinks. And so out of the menu we have now, we have sandwiches, we have breakfast items, and we have pastries and cinnamon rolls. We'll have a specialty soup and we'll have a specialty salad is what we have. If we expand, we'll take some of those away and then add those into their place. So I don't see our menu getting bigger.
I think one thing that we've talked about that will complement alcohol very well